It's great to be here. I am Jennifer Cooper. I am a fractional CMO for the home building industry. My company is called Evolution Marketing, and I will be leading 5 sessions with the digital solutions track over the next couple days. So you guys know this is the first year that the Tech Home Builder is located together with the Housing Transformation Summit, which focuses on digital transformation, personalization, and innovative structures and major systems. So combining the two conferences together, we have about 165 executives that are coming to this conference together. We're going to have about 120 sponsor companies, 120 boardroom presentations, and 2,200 one-on-one meetings. So it's not any small feat. So a lot of great people to be meeting with while you're here. So today, the track that we're starting off with has kind of a long name: the digital transformation, fintech, e-commerce, and a new world of builder revenue opportunity. And we have a large panel. We're a little cozy up here. And probably the biggest panel that I've ever had. But I'd love to go around and introduce everybody. And nobody's in any particular order, but we'll go ahead and I'll try to go around. We'll just do that. I'll start with Rick McCatherine here on the opposite end of the dining room table, as it feels. He is the president and CEO of Hippo Insurance and has served as a member of the board of directors since February 2017. Prior to joining Hippo, Rick held senior executive positions at various insurance companies, including First Connect Insurance as president and CEO, Superior Access Insurance as president and CEO, and Mercury Insurance Group as regional vice president. Well done. Rick is both a chartered property and casualty underwriter and a certified insurance counselor, and sits on board of directors at Spinnaker Insurance Company and First Connect Insurance. Awesome. All right, next we have Ali Reichert with Enterprise. She's an enterprise account executive leading the home builder vertical at Wayfair. Who doesn't love Wayfair? Now you know someone from Wayfair. Ali has spent the last 4 years partnering with home builders to help them to reach consumers through design, procurement, logistics, and assembly. Thank you so much for being here, Ali. And then we have, hopefully we got her updated. We had some changes, a lot of sickness out there. And we have my good friend Janet Benavidez from Shea. She is the National Vice President of Sales and Marketing, and she's been an integral part of Shea for over 25 years. Congratulations. Janet leads and focuses on customer satisfaction, and she has orchestrated the implementation of cutting-edge technologies that have enhanced the customer experience. She's led charge of the groundbreaking programs such as Shea Connect, a smart home program, and an options visualization program, enhancing the way customers interact and personalize their dream home. That is awesome. And then we have another new panelist that's been able to join us, Josh Schwartz with FBC Mortgage. Josh is the project and RPA development manager at FBC. He leads a team of business analysts and developers and are responsible for optimizing the customer digital journey and business operational efficiency. And then we also have Ryan Thornton with ECI. He is the co-owner and COO at ECI. With a professional background in architecture, he's made his mark by designing custom homes, and then moved over and decided to co-found the InSearch Digital Technology Studio, which we've all been learning about. He's also, his passion for technology-driven solutions and dedication to problem solving have not only transformed the way builders operate, but have also created a more seamless and enjoyable journey for home buyers. Sorry, excuse me. And then last but not least, hopefully you can still see him behind me here at this dining room table. We have Shane Ested as the co-founder and CEO of HomeKey, the leading software platform that simplifies home ownership for builders, homeowners, and every professional that touches the home throughout its lifetime. Prior to that, he was focused on cutting-edge technology in the travel industry, where he founded 2 award-winning companies and is a sought-after speaker. So we have a lot of talent at this table, a lot of interesting tech builders, and we're going to talk about technology and how it can make our home building experience a better one. So starting off, this has a little bit of example of our purpose. We're going to review the service opportunities and the revenue opportunities that broaden the customer journey, creating a more holistic digital experience. So we're going to think past just selling the home, and how do we foster more components that make a home, make living in a home a very special place for our customers. Some of the highlights, we're going to review how innovative applications can integrate for the benefit of the customer. We're also going to explore how buyer readiness and mortgage application can be handled seamlessly and digitally. We're going to look at how home insurance offers can be served up seamlessly in digital applications. We're also going to look at how we can add additional financing for other options that a homeowner might want to include, including initial allowance can be presented and tapped into seamlessly. And then we're also going to look at how design can keep advancing for the buyer and thinking through other things like furniture and decor along their design center technology experience. And then finally, we're also going to be looking at what's the post-close experience. This is something that the home builders today aren't really thinking about. We're trying to give them a great experience, but what are the other things that they're going to need to do to take care of that home for life? So this is going to be a little bit of an innovative approach to looking at the home buyer continuum. So we created this initial, has anybody in the room ever done journey mapping for the customer experience? I see one or two. Okay. So this is basically looking at not only when do we give the customer the keys, when do we have the contract, when are we taking them through our traditional buying process, but what is that continuum? And we're trying to spread it out and kind of pull it apart on either side. So we're going to be talking to this continuum through the entire presentation. And what it means is that we're looking at more of the front end and the back end, not only just getting someone in the door and qualifying for a mortgage, but looking at what buyer readiness means, also going through to what are some of the add-ons that I can look at, and then what's home care, and how do I stay up to date with information on my warranty, insurance claims, and things of that nature. And how do we then tie it all into a very seamless experience? So as we're going through this, you're not gonna see an actual live case study of all of these applications being used. This is very, it's forward thinking. So I do ask everybody to take your ifs, ands, or buts and put them to the side, because this is really thinking about how do we start to disrupt our digital experience for our customers in the home building realm. All right, so this first slide, I'll just raise my hand here. One of our panelists did unfortunately fall sick, and this is his application, but I'm going to talk to it as much as possible. This is an application from a company called Fintech, and this allows the buyer to move into an area where they can get a little bit more understanding and a little bit more comfort in where their buyer readiness is. So today, a lot of home builders on their websites will have a mortgage calculator. Well, a mortgage calculator just gives someone a first glance at what they might think they might pay on a monthly payment. There's a lot of variables with that. Full buyer readiness is saying, well, how do I look at all of my assets? How do I understand what my credit score is? And within this application, it's giving you not only your credit score, but ideas on maybe how to improve your credit score. It's giving you information on your paperwork and what you need to do to get ready to go into the lending process. It's giving you ideas to connect to the home builder that you're wanting to pursue after you get more of that comfort level. So it's an area in the buyer spectrum that a lot of builders have, because we're waiting for them to walk through the door. Then we're having the conversation on the brand and our experience, and we're introducing them to a lender. So this is giving them an entirely new kind of first look at how I can be prepared, and I can do it on my own time. And the idea with a lot of these apps is to be able to come in and kind of white label the experience, embed it into your builder brand. So it's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 different things I'm throwing at the customer, but really intertwining it. So when we talked about the continuum, we knew that this was one area that we felt we were lacking. And so with Fintech, I'm sorry that they couldn't be here, and we'll be able to provide some more information afterwards, but that is one area of buyer readiness that we're not really seeing in the spectrum. And the next step for it is to be able to integrate it into the mortgage realm.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
I don't know.
Hello?
There we go.
Working? Okay, great. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Real quick, before I dive into our tech stack and everything that we've taken the time to build and deploy and everything that we're looking at for the future, I just wanted to share a quick story. A little over a year ago, I was working with our COO on staffing models, and you know the mortgage industry is very volatile, and he posed this question to us of how can we do more business with the same or less? And for us, that came to fruition of employing our borrowers or our customers to help us serve them in a more efficient manner. And we're able to do that through our mobile application, which we can see here on the image. They're able to submit an application, upload documents, complete tasks, and at the end, they're even able to e-close via webcam and remote notary. I love this image because I really can't imagine a mortgage situation where we're asking a borrower for their Universal Orlando season ticket pass, but here we go. And before this panel, I looked up a stat, and last year in the United States, over 40% of all online transactions were done via a mobile device. So we really believe this is the future. It puts the power of your customer in their hands. They could submit the application from anywhere at any time. Next slide, please.
Awesome.
So I've talked about how we're employing our customers to help us serve them in a quicker, more efficient environment. And now I want to talk about what we're doing operationally to make their process even smoother. We're using robotic process automation for upfront disclosures, tail-end closing documents. We're helping our underwriters via AI to make more informed decisions. And we're integrating with every API possible out there so we can streamline the process, get orders done quickly, receive all the information back, and we've seen a huge benefit for us. All of this is us laying the groundwork for what we think the future of the mortgage loan lifecycle looks like, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And while I've talked about the upfront and I've talked about the middle operational piece, at the tail end, we still want to take care of our customers, and we're doing that via uploading them to a digital CRM. And the benefit of that is we can use what we call customer intelligence, where we can monitor if they've listed the property for sale that we've closed on, if they have any new mortgage credit inquiries, and then lastly, we can monitor the rate environment to see if there's any future refinance opportunities for those people.
Awesome. When you're collecting all of that information, one of my questions is, where does all of the data live? Is that something on the builder side, or is that something that's contained within your side?
So it's all digitally stored that we have access to. Most of it lives in our LOS, but we can share the data back and forth.
Okay. Sometimes the builders are just worried about some of the data privacy on the front end before everything is officially moved to contract. And when you're working with CRMs, it's great that you've got the API capability. How are the sales teams at the builder side able to maybe see how a prospect is moving along and getting more comfortable or closer to a financial decision?
Sure. So through our mobile app, we're able to provide logins so you can actually see individual customers' progress. At a high level, you can actually monitor any outstanding tasks that they might need to complete. So if you see, hey, they haven't uploaded their bank statements, we need those to continue in the process, you can give them a little nudge in the right direction. You can't see the actual document, obviously, for security reasons, like we just talked about, but you're able to help the borrower move along in the process and stay informed.
Gotcha. And when we go back to the readiness idea and that implementation, have you done anything? Have you worked through with any other applications or any other scenarios where you've been able to help nurture those initial relationships at the readiness cycle before maybe they're further down the funnel with the home builder?
Yeah, so that's something that we're working on right now, actually through the CRM, to be able to notate individuals who might need more assistance to meet the qualifications that we're looking for and deliver them the needs that they need to become a fully qualified borrower.
Okay, awesome.
And lastly, you have any more questions for me?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I might.
So I talked about us building the framework for what we think the future of the mortgage loan life cycle is. And to us, we think in the next 5 years, looking forward, industry leaders will be able to app to fund within 8 business days. Now, you as a builder might say, well, I can't build a house in 8 days. What does that really do for me? Well, for us, on day 1, your borrower would be able to submit their application, submit their documents, and through all the processes that we're working to build now, they would have an underwriting decision on day 1. So now this customer standing in front of me in my showroom is a true qualified borrower that I can faithfully put under contract and add some confidence that they're going to close their loan.
That's great. I'd love to take a step and go back to Janet here for a second and ask what you're doing from Shay's perspective. What are you guys doing along this continuum? And is there anything that we've talked about in the readiness stage or the mortgage application stage that you're using or exploring from an innovation standpoint?
Well, I'm excited to be on this panel because I think there is some great technology that's being offered. And the readiness, I think, is a component that we would benefit from. We do have an online application process. We've had great success with it. For those of you that don't have it, definitely implement. We have our customers engaged. It's quick and easy. Within 40 minutes, customers are able to get qualified. Their application process, which normally takes a very long time, but with this type of technology, they're able to tie into their banks. They don't have to pull statements. They can tie into their tax records. It makes it so much more convenient for them. And literally, they're completing their application in 40 minutes, which is unheard of. And the success rate that we've had with it, we've had over 75% of our customers complete online applications. So they're not opposed to doing it. They're not scared to submit this information and to tie their accounts, and they're seeing it as a great opportunity. Even with our Net Promoter Scores, we're reaching about a 62, which 50% Net Promoter Score is considered excellent. 70 is considered world class. So to get a 62 Net Promoter on a mortgage application process, I think is huge. So definitely look at these applications. The readiness, we haven't really approached the readiness. We do things without technology right now for the readiness, but I think that's a great innovation, and I think it's a great opportunity that we right now are lacking that we definitely should consider as well.
Awesome. And it seems to me, again, putting my marketing hat on, that you're also opening up an entire new value proposition, an area that you can promote, because on the builder side, we're not always promoting our lenders up front. We're promoting location, place, price point, things of that nature. And the lending conversations usually coming in much later. But it seems like you have another opportunity to talk about how we make it easy. We have different application processes and things of that nature.
Well, especially in today's environment, I think the biggest, people have been okay walking in and knowing, okay, interest rates are almost 8%. They've accepted that. But when they sit down and they start looking at what that means for their payments, that's when we get the payment shock, and that's when customers start backpedaling a little bit. So I think the more you can provide them to get them educated up front and to have them understand what they're getting themselves into is definitely a reinforcer to be able to help us continue to walk them through that process. So I think that's huge.
Absolutely. All right, well, moving down the continuum, we now have come to insurance. So Rick, tell us a little bit about Hippo for people that don't know what Hippo offers, and tell us about what makes your insurance different. And we kind of front load you a little bit higher up in the funnel because you're engaging with the builder earlier and the customer earlier.
No, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Hippo is a publicly traded home protection company, and I use the word home protection intentionally, although homeowners insurance is a significant portion of that. Our view has always been, what is the best claims experience? And that's not having the claim in the first place. So we do a lot of different things to try to help customers avoid having that claim with IoT devices, with installed devices, with Hippo home care offerings, different kinds of things that we can spend all day talking about. That said, first they have to become a customer. And before they become a customer, they have to buy a home. And I think what we're all seeing in all of our industries, in different industries, is customers' expectations have completely changed. And I gotta tell you, insurance, I've been doing this for 32 years. Insurance is not the most sexy, sort of customer innovative type of business. I mean, you guys give people dream homes. I give them air and they hope they never call me and never have a claim. Like, it's a very different perspective. But they're still customers of other things, and their expectations have completely changed over the last few years. In fact, the insurance industry is struggling right now because what customers really want is simple, embedded, personalized services. And our industry is not very good at doing that. So when we started Hippo, and Hippo's only been in business, although we're public, we've only been in business for about 7 years. We've been in the home builder channel for about 4 years. And during that time, we recognized our mission needs to be to protect the joy of home ownership and have people get into their homes. And that's one of the things that have changed sort of the way that we think about. So related to the home builder channel, what we really want to focus on is how can we make the closing of that house easier as it relates to home insurance. And so what we generally do, and we have some very large and small home builder partners, we generally get data about the house before a customer ever decides that that's going to be their home. and we provide a quote. Lennar is one of our large partners, has been since the beginning. Lennar builds 60-ish thousand new homes a year, lots of permutations, lots of variations of models. We pre-quote every single model, every single lot, every single permutation before somebody selects that lot and that model. Then when they do, we move home insurance purchasing way up the funnel, so it's done. So it's not something they have to worry about in the 11th hour. And so we simply say, through a very digitized experience, we simply say, would you like an offer for home insurance? Over 95% of customers opt into that offer. And then we give them the offer faster than they've ever dreamed. And by the way, it's not always a HIPPO offer. We are an insurance company. We have our own offering. But sometimes there's another insurance company that the offering might be better for that particular customer. We're about conversion and optimizing the customer experience. Even when we sell something that's not HIPPO, we still want to simplify that process. So once somebody says, yes, I'd like an offering, 75% of customers actually buy one of the homeowners products that we offer. Now, HIPPO tends to be disproportionately higher because HIPPO is an insurtech company, so the process is way quicker, way more streamlined, way simpler than a traditional way of doing that. So early on, oftentimes before ground's even been broke on that house, they know exactly, and you all know exactly, what that home insurance price is going to be. So when they qualify, how much they can afford, how much can they spend, they already know that information. And nobody's scrambling at the end of the cycle going, your house is closing in a week, have you secured home insurance? And then everybody's scrambling, calling Bob, the State Farm agent, and trying to figure out, get Bob off the golf course, which isn't always easy to do, and get something converted as quickly as possible. The other aspect I think that's really important for us is that we do lock in and honor the price. How many of you live in California? Is there? Yeah. Try to secure homeowners insurance in California right now, especially 6 months ago when you were trying to pre-qualify for a loan. Like, homeowners insurance prices have doubled and tripled over the last 6 months to a year. And so our ability to secure that pricing early on, lock in that quote, and then if we happen to quote another insurance company's product, and that insurance company says, sorry, we're done, we're out, we're not gonna honor it, we can step in as the insurance company and provide coverage for that customer. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. The vast majority of our customers never have to talk to a human being to bind the policy. It's a digital experience that takes less than 4 minutes, and then they're done. Now, if they want to talk to a human being, we've got a very large call center that they're happy to talk to, but I don't know about you, I'd rather not talk insurance to somebody. I'd rather be click, 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 done, and then move on thinking about what furniture that I want to put in the house and what I want to do with the backyard and all of these different kinds of things. So that's what we focus at HIPPO, is to try to optimize conversion and getting people in the house in a streamlined, effective way, in a digital way.
Sure, that makes sense. And again, I think when we're thinking about the continuum as builders, we need to think about how do we get this information integrated in an application in front of our customers so that they see they're getting the hand-holding all along the way. One thing, we did say revenue was a part of this session, so I don't want to dismiss that. We also, as a group, kind of talked holistically that we know a lot of builders are about the customer experience first, but there are revenue opportunities along the way. We also have to guide around that thing called RESPA. But I understand, Rick, that you guys also have a bit of a revenue model for leads that would relate to the conversation as well.
We do. And look, let's face it, you're selling a house that's really expensive. The revenue you're going to generate from participating with us on home insurance is a lot less. A typical homeowner's insurance through a customized product that we've built specifically for new construction homes is around $1,000. So when we do a revenue split, it's not a lot per home, but we do a revenue split fully compliant with RESPA, whether it's a lead fee or we have some others for people that want to be more integrated into some type of partnership. But you do make a little bit of money in the process while you're trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do, which is let's get the home closed and let's get the customer in the home. But we definitely share in a RESPA compliant way revenue for this. And if anybody's interested in this, we have Lauren Ritchie here. There's Lauren up front. This is Lauren's job, is to go explain to each builder how your situation would work with us, because everybody's unique, everybody does it differently. You know, if you look at the million-ish homes that are built every year, more than 50% are not the top 200 builders. And so we've built solutions, whether you're big, whether you're small. Our job is to customize our offering to where the customers are and where the partners are, not trying to fit square pegs into round holes. And revenue is definitely a component of what we do.
Awesome. Well, now that we've covered the insurance aspect of it, we're going to turn it over to my friend Ryan and talk about what ECI is doing. What we loved about bringing Ryan in this conversation is he has some of the tools that we're able to say, well, how does all of this integration look like on the builder's website, right? And what is that customer experience going to look like? So Ryan, you're going to walk us through some experiences that you were kind of working through with us and some things that you are seeing, but how would we start to tie in? I'm a buyer, I'm on a website, I found a floor plan I loved in an area I love, and where does the mortgage and insurance and stuff maybe start to fall in here?
Yeah. So Jennifer, real quick, I have to tell you, I don't own ECI, so I just have to just set the record straight.
Well, I read it.
don't own
Okay,
ECI.
okay.
I may have told you that because I really wanted you to like me, but I
Okay,
didn't think you were going
okay.
to tell everybody. But I am the co-founder of Insert. So ECI acquired Insert a little over 2 years ago. So I'm the product development manager for the sales and design side of ECI. So what you're seeing here is our interactive floor plan, and this can be embedded throughout the builder's website. This is just a full screen view of this. And then my attempt is basically kind of show everything that the other panelists have talked about. How can we integrate that into the builder's website to try and make that a seamless experience? And you can see that we do have a mortgage calculator built in. And then when you have the construction management side of things integrated, where we have real-time pricing and everything involved, we can actually now show the mortgage rate. So when you add a fourth bedroom or anything like that, we can actually show those live mortgage rates, so the buyer can actually see, as they add options, what that mortgage is going to increase to. If you can go to the next one.
One question on this slide, though, to bring Josh into the equation. I'm curious if, again, we're kind of dreaming here. We don't have all of the mock-ups, but I think ideally is that we'd be pulling them in, and then maybe as I'm selecting, because all builders are different, everybody's getting to a different place with this, guys. Like, how much am I going to be transparent with my pricing for structurals? So if someone's been approved for, say, a $400,000 house, I think where we're thinking some of this integration might go is I've got my approval, I know how much I can spend, I'm going through my structurals are adding. I feel like this is where the place where we want to maybe start to see some of those applications combine in the customer's hands, so that they're like, kind of like if I'm shopping in my Amazon cart and I don't need to buy $500 worth of junk because I do it all the time, right? Like, okay, take it out. So, do you feel like some of the things that you do with FBC would be applicable in some of these experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. Through our mobile app, the customer could update a pre-approval amount. So while we might give them, a certain pre-approval limit, if there's changes that they make to the model that you're working with them on, finishings such as, they can make adjustments to the letter on the fly, which helps them stay informed on what the total cost is for the mortgage.
Gotcha. All right. Now we'll go to the next slide.
All right. Yeah, so this would be basically an example of how we could integrate, some of that software right within our software, basically. So if a buyer does go in and they're, make an attempt to get pre-approved or even conditionally approved with the AI capabilities of FBC Mortgage, we can now see really the percentage, like their debt-to-income percentage, basically. So we can actually now possibly even make an attempt to even show them what they can afford. Like maybe they, want to have a, finish out their backyard even after they purchase that home, or even buy furniture for the house or something like that. And then even down to structural options, because a lot of those are getting paid with by cash. So, So if we can integrate that, now we can actually tie the InSearch mortgage calculator, we can actually tie that exact pre-approved rate right within the software. So now when they go in and start configuring their options and everything like that, they're going to actually be able to see their rate as they're going through and configuring their plan right off of the builder's website.
Awesome. I guess I have a question for Janet on this. Are you seeing from Shay's perspective in any of your, I guess what do you have on your website today that starts interaction with customers on a mortgage or any type of monthly payment? Do you have any, is it monthly, is it like a mortgage calculator, or are there any?
We do have a mortgage calculator, and customers do utilize it. They do want to understand what the payments are going to be. We are looking consistently at enhancing the experience. We offer an online option program. However, it's more for our customers once they've purchased. We really need to take that to the consumer that's shopping. And I think the more you can provide them tools from the beginning and engage them, the more transparent you are. We used to have this mentality of don't give it all away, make them come into the sales office. Absolutely not. I think you can enhance the experience in the sales office, but you need these tools, because if you don't have them, they're just going to go to another builder that does have these tools, that they feel more confident in being able to shop their product, feel more comfortable knowing what their payments are going to be, and they're going to visit their location versus yours. So absolutely, I think this is a critical part of being able to get the consumer the information ahead of time and have them feel comfortable understanding how it will impact their monthly payments.
Absolutely. Ready for the next
Yeah.
slide? Okay.
Yeah, and this is really just the next step in that as well too. So you can see it, the highlighted green area. I just kind of tried to make an attempt of what maybe that could look like if it was all integrated together, where you could have that, you can drag the cost of the house, and then it's going to kind of give you that really the leftover funds that you may have, or even getting to the level of maybe you can get conditionally approved for even a credit card or a credit line to get this stuff done. Because I think what we're seeing right now is people are moving in, and it's taking them years to even build out their backyard to their to how they really want to use the house.
Yeah, I
Only
think,
after they close. Don't open credit before they close.
Yeah.
do you have something to say to that, Josh? You tilted your head. I've got to ask.
Yeah, so actually, we've been floating around this idea of while they're working with you all to purchase a property, that we understand that they might open a new credit line to kind of pre-furnish their house, and we could actually incorporate that in our underwriting decisions to understand, hey, there might be a new line of debt, they might utilize it, and that way we don't have to go through that traditional mortgage process of, hey, don't do anything until we close this loan. We could start to understand, hey, they might buy chairs, they might buy a table, and we could take that into account as we go through the underwriting process. So that's kind of a thought we've been playing around with. It's a little bit outside of the box of the mortgage norm.
Yeah, and I think that's the area, again, that the customers, we know that we're, as home builders, we're selling them the home, but they're also, as they're falling in love with it, or they're going to their design center appointment, they're starting to think of, do I want a pedestal table in the dining room, or do I want, something different? And so to be able to not only like going in and favoriting or in a customer portal, there's all these different ideas. How do we start to get them to think about what is really the cost of home ownership is more than our monthly payment? It's everything, it's all the insurance. And as builders, we step out of it because we want to be a part of that initial conditional sale. But really, the path to true building customers for life is to really embrace the entire path of homeownership. So I love this example. Again, this is an example to get us thinking of how do we integrate more of these pieces into our buyer cycle to be innovative and to be different.
Yeah, and when you do move forward and you get into more of the the post-close side of things, like and selecting all of the different fixtures, faucets, all that kind of stuff, this is our design center platform. And so what I did here is really just kind of taking another step of looking at the backyard, or even looking at furnishing your great room. And the value, we have a lot of information where we know the plan. We know the general dimensions of a great room. So we could partner with somebody like Wayfair, for example, and we can actually curate furniture that fits within that exact home based off of all the information that we have at hand. So even, this could even be even a step after closing as well too. They could still be using that platform, which kind of creates that loop too, that hopefully will let that buyer wants to come back and purchase from the builder again as well too if they buy a new home. So in this example, if you could pop to the next one for me, please, thanks. So I was just going to look at the two that I did here, the landscaping and the great room. So as you click to the next one, please. Sorry, these are a little compartmentalized, but so you can see here as you kind of work yourself down, the buyer could actually click on the great room, and then it's going to curate that list for them, like I was saying. So it's going to give you a product specific for that house, and then you could even go as far as as packaging that as well too. So if you have those. Those connections built out with Wayfair or anything like that, you could really get into curating those different aspects of the home.
And obviously, a lot of this would have to, I used the word portal just 2 minutes ago, but a lot of this would have to probably be contained somewhere in the CRM.
We'd probably connect where we would just pull that data straight from like Wayfair from an API or anything like that. We would just pull that information across.
But if I'm building like my dream list, like where is all of that living is what I'm curious. Would it be living like with the builder? I mean, I guess this is, again, this is a dreamy conversation, but I think those are kind of things to think about is are you connecting to go out or are you connecting to keep them in, which in most instances we want to keep them coming back to and building my house and building my home and building all my assets that I want to
and today it does. It directly goes into the CRM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, it's also,
so it all stays managed.
Depending on how much you give them before contract, that's also another way that you're building them, getting them engaged to not leave, right? You're dating, you're courting the customer, and they're coming back more and more and more. So that's another way for them to look at you versus the competition for sure.
Yeah, and for us, we heavily lean on our configurator side of things, like the actual visual of the home. We lean on that actually in the sales side of things. Number one, because you start chasing your tail, because you're going to have to render out a whole bunch of different options and everything. And I mean, I think our average client has 5,000 options or something like that. So when you start getting into that process of doing all of that and rendering everything out, it ends up being cyclical, and then it's just cost ineffective to do it that way. So what we like to do is we have the configurators live on the sales side, gives the buyer a great idea of what their home can look like, and then when they come into our design center product where you're more have the shopping cart and everything, you're really just fine tuning and choosing those options. So not only are you doing this at home, the buyer's doing this at home, they're doing this within the design center as well too.
We're going to move on to the decor side of things. And I know Allie's going to talk to us a little bit about what model shopping experience looks like. And I told her to go ahead and give us a little bit of a background because it is a newer concept. There are a few companies out there today that are looking at, I mean, if there's any sales and marketing people in the room, how many times have we been asked, hey, where did that couch in the, in the Diana come from? Because my buyer really wants it. So we know that customers want the home and then they want the furnishing. So this model has popped up, I'd say, more so over like the last probably 3 years. There's a lot of more momentum around it. So Allie, we'd love to hear from you, your experience, what Wayfair's doing, and how you're working with builders.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here.
Of course.
Really happy to be here again, and I'm really glad that we chose a warmer destination this time than Seattle in December. So great work on this. So Wayfair, we work with a lot of home builders on traditionally actually I work for the Wayfair professional side, so it's a business to business, helping with everything from design all the way through installation of your model home, your amenity spaces, et cetera. Talking with so many builders, I have heard that exact complaint. I'm sick of people crawling under my table or flipping over couch cushions and trying to take my real estate agent's attention off of the sale of the home into the sale of the furniture. So the idea here, and we do actually have this live with some of our builders right now, the idea is to first get rid of the looky-loo traffic and kind of drive them to, if you want to talk furniture, scan here, talk furniture. We did talk revenue models. That is something as well that Wayfair is willing to look into. So again, I know everything's kind of futuristic at the moment, but affiliate revenue spend models that can help to drive a little bit of affiliate revenue off of that traffic that you're seeing through your different model homes. The other side of it is somebody's going to walk in, and we know model homes sell. They are a dream and a vision for somebody walking through that wants to build a home that looks as beautiful and as attainable as this model. And so maybe they love the sofa and they have to have that exact sofa. It also helps that customer be able to have that information and not have to, again, work with the sales agents to speak to the furniture side of things. The next slide here speaks a little more to what I think will be more exciting. This is post-sale. So now we're talking after the sale of the home, but being able to say thank you to your customers. And we know you saw this beautiful model home. Let us introduce you to the same design team that put that model home together. And this is actually an intro to our, this particular one is to our Jocelyn Main. That's one of Wayfair's brands. But it's a complementary interior design services that could take some of what Ryan's space plans have put together, their curated furniture plans, and actually curate it for that exact customer. So they're going to have this brand new house and they want to turn it into their home. And it allows them to work one-on-one with an interior designer that can grab those space plans from some of our other partners or the builders themselves and put together exactly what they're looking for. Again, when you're looking at these, you want to think potential revenue share. How could that help us? We've, in learning about the RESPO laws, started to look at different rebate programs and ways that it could actually be a self-funding model for model homes.
Yeah. Yeah, we are creating basically storefronts with the furniture, not only model homes. So there's definitely different ways to look at it. I'll be curious over time because not a lot of home builders have adopted any kind of shoppable model. Taylor Morrison has done it and have been quite vocal about a specific model of doing this business. But it really, again, brings the customer in. You have a little bit of a different relationship with the customer. They're coming back because they're falling in love. They're thinking about the furniture. They're thinking about how they're going to design it, and you've given them a tool versus I squirreled and went another direction or saw a different incentive. Like right now, we have to be very careful as marketers on what the message is so that we don't lose people in the funnel. So we're keeping their attention span with these types of products and experiences.
So the final slide here, again, a little more future. We don't actually have this on the site today, but again, leveraging the site in different ways we know there are 30 million unique shoppers on Wayfair every day. Well, maybe not every day, but on Wayfair annually. And could we use that as a way to drive somebody looking at beautiful curated homes, maybe even photos of your company's model homes branded on there to see a furniture piece? It could drive traffic into the model homes themselves or back. I mean, it could drive from the builder's website to Wayfair, and then again, you're looking at potential affiliate revenue spends, or from Wayfair to the model home and physically getting somebody on site that maybe didn't know of your brand before, but now they do because they wanted to get there to see a certain item of furniture. So that was kind of my future slide there.
Yeah, no, it's great. And again, another future thought here is if I'm showcasing the opportunity to sell my home, pick out my furniture, I also see a button, for your mortgage affiliate to come back to either the app that you've got set up. Again, there's a way to integrate this so that they're always getting information. Well, can I afford this? How much is this going to cost? And just integrating it. We don't have the actual living model of all of this, but this is where we have to start thinking about how we can integrate these pieces. All right, so my friend here is tucked behind me, so I'm going to move so I'm not sitting right over him. Hopefully it's okay for the camera guy. But anyway, Shane, I had not heard about HomeKey, so I was excited to be introduced to your product and what you're doing in the post-market, post-close phase, because what I connect your product to is the true definition of building a customer for life. So we build this product, we take them through a great experience, and then how do I stay top of mind if I have an application that's doing all of this home care that's also tied to my builder brand? I love it. So I'm going to shut up and let you talk about it.
Yeah, thanks for having HomeKey here today. We really appreciate it. And I just wanted to level set and say that we actually do have a marketplace, as you can see in the app today. I want to also say that our primary focus is empowering the homeowner so that they know everything about their home. On a typical production home, like a Lennar-style home, it's about 300 different things on the home. And we want to do that so they don't continue to overwhelm your customer service teams, right? Drastic reduction in those calls. That's really one of our primary focuses. And then using that information to actually build a home-specific maintenance plan based on what's installed, right? Imagine a model that has luxury vinyl tile versus the same exact floor plan that's 4 lots down that has upgraded to natural stone, right? Very different care plans in 2 homes. Now multiply that by thousands and thousands, right? So that's really our primary focus, is allowing homeowners to know what's in the home, keep that up to date, and then also the maintenance of that aspect. The nice thing is when we do ask them or remind them to do something in a to-do, we've actually embedded the parts that they need and or the care products from Amazon. So it's really super easy. They don't have to research or remember a size. They don't have to worry about, is this air filter actually going to fit in my refrigerator? It will fit. We curate those. And they just tap on it, and it transacts in the Amazon app on their phone. So that's live today. We do see a big growth in the marketplace aspect. So that's why I'm super excited to be on the panel today and talk about how we might integrate the partners here. So I have a couple other aspects here. First one, I'm not sure if I should hand it over or not, but the idea here is Hippo's now on the front end, right? And they're trying to get that home closing quick. But what happens after the home's closed and maybe they didn't transact with Hippo, right? Or maybe you don't have a relationship with Hippo, but we actually have the ability to show them the benefits of a Hippo insurance in their home after they closed on the home, right? And we've just met, but you can see that there's a lot of overlap as well because
we've got each other's cards, so we've been talking a lot about it.
They care about how that home is cared for, as we do. For them, it's a reduction of liability, and we look at it that way as for you, the builder, as well, right? We think long-term we can affect the reduction of those long-term liability claims, and we want to do that. We're not doing that today, but we are drastically bringing down the customer service team's loads. So I don't know, you want to talk any more about?
No, I think that's exactly right. Because over the last few years, we've converted about 120,000 prospective customers to customers. But if you look at after the sale, because they have some technology or some partnerships that they've done something different that makes their home safer, we've converted 3x number of customers into a post-sale opportunity for them to save money because they've done something that we didn't know that they were doing, or something that they've upgraded, or a service, a subscription service situation. Like, there's so many different ways, because I think all of our job should be is our customers, our collective customers, what can we do to actually make them save money, add value way after the home has sold, to get that lifetime customer mindset. And I think through partnerships, there's lots of things that we can do. And like I said, we've converted several 100,000 customers post-close based on this type of thinking.
Yeah, and I'd like to think of using the data in the home not only to care for the home, but create low friction conversions, right? So ideally, if Hippo doesn't have the information on the home, we do, we could actually put an executable quoted number in there for the homeowner. And that's how I love to think about the app in the marketplace, and have a couple more examples as well.
Okay.
Oh, I'm still on, okay. So this one is looking at Wayfair, and while it's easy we could put a banner in there for Wayfair, we're also very particular about not overwhelming the homeowners with all these ads, right? That's the last thing we want to do, is have them not use the app. About 65% of our homeowners are in the app twice a month. So they're using it, they love it, they're looking at thousands and thousands of different things like paint colors, adding paint colors, those types of things. We don't want to annoy them. So even if you look at this ad with Wayfair, the idea here is, again, leveraging the home information, and this is, I'm going to take you probably a few years out, but imagine us applying artificial intelligence to our data, and we know all the floor plans, and we know that X amount of homeowners have, so as far as we can tell, done nothing in their powder room, right? So they've said, here's the powder room, that's great, I want to worry about the great room where I have everybody over, right? But what if we could use that data along with Wayfair, and we could also use market data to justify it with an increase in value to that home, let's say 2 years after they've moved in. So what it's showing here is, hey, did you know that if you remodel your powder room, you can spend $3,900. And by the way, if you do that upgrade, it's going to increase the value of your home by about $9,800, right? And here are the 6 items from Wayfair that add up to the $3,900. All you have to do is tap once to buy them, right? So making things like that really, really easy for homeowners and packaging it. I think, I'm not sure if I've talked to homeowners or customers about landscaping, right? How many homeowners move in and you have dirt in your backyard? And, even as something as simple as, I don't want to look at dirt anymore, right? Just give me some, in Arizona anyway, give me rocks, some shrubs, and if I can do that by one tap and have it installed in 30 days, I'm in, right?
Yeah.
So just things like that.
And then you throw in AI and maybe it says, well, here's 4 bathroom configurations you'd like,
Sure.
right? So, I mean, I think it's the sky's the limit, right, with where some of these ideas could go.
And this one talks about a much larger purchasing decision and is supported by understanding other data, like from FBC, and that would be like home equity, right? So if you do have that dirt lot, and what's the other pictures there are the model, happen to be the model, and you're like, hey, I've looked at dirt for 3 years, I'm sick of looking at dirt, I want to do something. We're letting them know in-app that you actually have enough equity in that home that if you want to leverage the equity, you could start doing a lot of things in your backyard to make it the dream backyard, right? So this is that idea of it. Obviously, you could take something like we portrayed for Wayfair and apply a landscaping package, right? So that's just another way that, excuse me, we could interact with homeowners to create very simple transactions for them that are meaningful. And then the last thing I would say is, like most of the individuals on the panel, we too are considering a revenue share. It's not, believe it or not, I'm not, this is a true statement. We can't do it with Amazon right now based on our arrangement, but very likely, we've actually have it in being reviewed in a few proposals right now, where a year from now, we'll offer some kind of revenue share on things that happen in the marketplace.
Awesome. I love the idea. It's definitely innovative, and we all know that the backyards sometimes they take a while to fill up in our neighborhoods. I'd love to have the last question to Janet, and with your builder hat on, and honestly, she just jumped in graciously for us. We had several people that were out sick for this panel, and she jumped in, but said I'd love for her to get her builder perspective. Having worked for the great company for 25 years, you're hearing about all this integration. Kind of what's your knee-jerk reaction or your thought about how we expand this journey, and maybe where are just some of the areas that may be easiest to adopt, do you think?
I feel like our industry is behind the curve, and what's great is, to your point, over the last few years, especially with COVID, there's been so many new applications that are available that I think it's just going to get better from here. I loved hearing about all the different applications that were being offered today. I think the big miss right now is how do you integrate them all?
Yeah.
So to hear that some of these applications are looking at how to integrate it, because from a customer's perspective, we tend to sometimes build things in-house because it's easier for us to then integrate different components. But I think it's great that companies are looking to join forces on how to continue to promote the cycle. It doesn't start at the point of sale. It starts at the point that they're looking for a new home. And the more tools that you can provide, the more you can make it seamless. We do have a customer portal. It starts as a shopper experience. That same portal takes them through their customer experience, showing the build life of their home, and it takes them post-close. But I think if there are these plugins that we can enhance that experience and provide these tools, I think that's just going to make it so much better for our customers. So I'm absolutely excited to see some of the new applications that are out there. And I think the big miss right now is just integrating them together.
Yeah.
We don't want our customers to have to log into this application, then log into here for a different experience. It needs to be seamless. It needs to be that single sign-on experience of them going to the builder site, being able to plug in these applications, keeping them there to just enhance the overall experience. And I think that's what's great about a lot of these new innovations.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the key word is, it's ideas, it's application, but integration. And so it was great that John brought this panel together, because if anything, I think it shows there's probably a couple relationships that will come off this panel
Absolutely.
and say, how do we go in and make this happen together? And, as builders advocate for that and say, well, I'm really interested in what Shane had to say, or I want to go back with Hippo. I think it's biting off one bite of the elephant at a time to just make your customer experience better. And this is my next slide. Think like a Tesla. We're not thinking like a Tesla in our industry. It's sad, and I know we all hear that, but I think the conversations here, we're like, how do we really start to advance the conversations and advance the technology and know that our customers ready to everything that we showed, they would use it. We just don't have the model yet. So
Absolutely.
So we're wrapping up real quick here, but our session highlights today, I hope you enjoyed learning about some of these new technologies and opportunities. There are definitely more and better efficient ways to offer true home ownership and financial preparedness. The mortgage calculators, like we can definitely go past that on our website. It's really not enough to move the conversations.
Yep.
Designing a home is more than color selection, and there's a lot of ways to integrate personalized shopping experience. There's opportunities for additional revenue. We heard it a little bit. But that's going to depend on the builder. Like, why do you want to have these advances in? Really for the ROI of your customer or the ROI of your business. That's really a personal business decision, but there's opportunity. And you just found hopefully a lot of tools that were going to help keep your customers longer. Definitely mitigates them moving towards the competition and those cancellations. Those are things we have to think about as builders every single day. So how do we show up different is super important. I want to thank our panelists today for joining us very, very much. It was great. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.